did a press con, which is a rarity for him, talking about the flood control projects. One of the most striking slides for me there was yung juxtapose niya yung most flood-prone provinces sa the ones that get the most number of projects. Wala doon yung Metro Manila sa provinces that get the most projects. What did you think when you were...
Wala doon yung Metro... Okay. Yung Metro Manila, nasa panlima siya sa most flood-prone provinces, di ba? So panlima siya. Pero doon sa kahaba-habang listahan, nung mga nakakakuha ng pinakamalaking pondo
wala siya
sa
doon.
Flood control, wala yung Metro
Correct.
Manila. Kaya nga talagang dapat magkaroon ng investigasyon, di ba? Bakit linalagay yung mga flood control na pondo doon sa mga probinsyang hindi naman kasama sa pinaka-flood prone o pinaka-binabaha? Hindi lang Metro Manila yan, no? Kahit yung iba doon na nahandun sa flood prone, hindi sila kasama doon sa nakakakuha ng pondo. So yan ang talagang dapat tignan.
And you're familiar with this because Navotas is below sea level, di ba?
Yes. But syempre ayoko masyadong sabihin na yung Navotas hindi masyadong nakakakuha kasi baka sabihin nila, kaya lang ako nagrereklamo, it's because of that. No, it's really the big picture. Kasi dito naman sa Metro Manila, hindi mo naman mahihiwala yung Metro Manila, di ba? Dugtong-dugtong yan eh.
Correct. But the issue there as well is how can Congress be the one to investigate itself over the flood control projects? I mean, sino ba yung pinaparing na ni President Marcos when he said, mahiya naman kayo?
Kami.
Yeah.
Kami.
Yeah.
Kaya nga unang-una akong nagtumayo, di ba? Kasi alam ko, finally, sinasabi ng presidente na dapat imbestigahan. Finally, meron tayong presidente, nandyan si BBM, kauna-unahang presidente, na nagsabi dapat imbestigahan ang flood control projects. At kauna-unahang presidente na nagsabi na, though indirectly, na kami yun. Kami yung kasama sa dapat imbestigahan, di ba? Kasi kung titignan mo, ano ba yung simula nung kanyang pagsabi? Sabi niya, initiative, errata, SOP for the boys. Yung initiative, it is a term used in Congress, di ba? Kasi Congress lang naman ang makakagawa ng initiative. Yung initiative para sa ating mga kababayan, yan po yung pag-amyenda. Ang tawag po nila doon is initiative. Yung amendment sa batas, yung pagbawas sa isang departamento at paglipat sa isang departamento, initiative ang tawag doon. Yung errata, masyadong abusado kasi yung word na yun eh. Yung errata is error, di ba? Kung may pagkakamali,
you strike it out.
You strike it out. So, kung may maling spelling, maling description, errata. Yung abuso doon sa small committee at saka doon sa BICAM, lahat ng bagong proyekto na wala sa NEP, pinapasok nila na errata. So, magtataka kabit ang dami-dami, puro errata. Okay? So, wala namang, for the boys, wala namang SOP kung hindi naman napondohan yung proyekto. Kaya nga tuwan-tuwa ako. He is the only president, na...
Who said that? Yes, I get it. But he's halfway through his term. I mean, are you telling me that he didn't know that there was a flood control problem from the very start?
Hindi. Alam mo naman na nakita naman natin, di ba, yung 2025 budget is described by a lot as pinakapangit, pinakabulok, pinakakorap na budget, di ba? So yun ang pinanggagalingan.
Good morning, I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro. It is Thursday, the 20th of August, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Now, first on the agenda, President Bongbong Marcos has ordered lifestyle checks on all government officials. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said the president's directive is part of the ongoing investigation into questionable flood control projects. The lifestyle checks will begin with officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways alongside a full review of agency records.
Ipinag-utos ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ang pagkakaroon ng lifestyle check sa lahat ng mga opisyal sa gitna ng investigasyon patungkol sa maanumalyang flood control projects.
Now, Castro added that the move signals all concerned agencies, including the Commission on Audit, Bureau of Internal Revenue, local government units, and the Bureau of Customs, to take part in monitoring possible unexplained wealth. She also assured that the president will file charges against those proven to be involved, whether allies or not.
Walang sisinuhin, walang malapit sa puso, walang kaalyado, kung sino man ang involved dito, sasampahan ng kaso.
Senator Ping Lacson revealed that some contractors allegedly pay up to 2 million pesos to secure accreditation from the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board. Here's the report.
Senator Ping Lacson has dismissed Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan's claim that ghost flood control projects in Bulacan are isolated cases. Lacson said similar projects exist in other areas, including Nauhan in Oriental Mindoro, and warned that the Department of Public Works and Highways has become a playground of syndicates.
I don't know how high up yung syndicate, but it seems that the DPWH has become a playground of syndicates.
He also revealed that his office received reports alleging that the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board has been involved in accreditation for sales scheme.
Information keep coming in sa aming opisina na itong pickup nagre-resort na sa accreditation for sale. They had this experience of being offered accreditation by pickup na sila na yung bahala sa bank certificate and other requirements for a fee of, I think, 2 million pesos for a start.
Senate Minority Leader Tito Soto, meanwhile, questioned why flood control projects are being poured into areas that are not flood-prone. Lacson replied that lawmakers' budget insertions are no longer about their constituents' needs, but about billions in contracts benefiting favored suppliers and contractors. He added that even during the preparation of the National Expenditure Program, some DPWH officials were already offering insertions to legislators.
Yung insertions, bisan sometimes nagiging supplier-friendly or contractor-friendly. Hindi na iniisip talaga kung ano yung needs and priorities of their constituents. Halimbawa, nakadeploy yung aking, contractor ako, congressman din ako, nakadeploy yung aking mga equipment sa isang lugar. Yung mobilization nun, pag deploy ko sa ibang lugar, medyo magastos. So doon ako mag-i-insert doon sa lugar na nakadeploy ng equipment ko. Already happening actually, Mr. President. I talked to one official from the DPWH. Nilalako na nila yan Sa NEP pa lang, preparation ng NEP, nag-o-offer na sila sa mga legislators.
To curb abuse, Lacson proposed involving local governments in planning and inspection of projects and urged the identification of legislators behind budget amendments.
Is to identify the proponents of the amendments or insertions. Malaking deterrent po yun. Kasi sa ngayon, malalakas ang loob na mag-insert in the billions or tens of billions of pesos kasi alam nila hindi naman sila ma-identify
Here on Morning Matters, we talk about the most pressing issues. And to give you the context behind the headlines, Senator J.V. Ejercito is urging Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan to take a leave of absence amid controversies over allegedly corrupt flood control projects. Ejercito said that even if Bonoan was unaware of the irregularities, ignorance is no excuse. He added that taking a leave would prevent the secretary from influencing the investigation. The senator, however, admitted that finding a replacement could be difficult, claiming that even some DPWH undersecretaries and assistant secretaries appear to be tainted by corruption. And Senator G.V. Ejercito now joins us to discuss his call and what he believes should be done to clean up the DPWH. Good morning, Senator. Thanks for joining me
Morning,
today.
Angela.
All right, so what prompted you to call publicly for Secretary Bonoan to take a leave of absence?
Well, because I think should be, that's the right thing to do. Every time an agency or a department is riddled or faced with controversies, it's natural for the head, like for delicadeza sake, to take a leave of absence again, not so as not to influence the department or the agency in the course of the investigation while it's ongoing.
Right. Senator, I want to discuss also, I was able to interview Congressman Terry Redon yesterday, and he said that he found out yung mga na bisita ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na flooded with flood control projects na anomalous ay hindi daw po nila nakita na may congressional insertions, but instead it was in the NEP or NEPA, National Expenditure Program. So what is the significance of this finding? What is the significance of this finding, knowing na parang na-excuse po dito ngayon yung mga Congress and saying na talagang DPWH ang may kasalanan dito?
Well, not necessarily, Angela, I would say, because in NEP, sometimes they also ask yung mga projects, no? So sometimes there's still intervention that is early, that can be reflected on the National Expenditure Program. Ako man, I would say, Angela, I would like, I think insertion or congressional intervention is not bad, no? Especially for us, if we can stand by it, no? If it's really needed, a project or a program, if we can stand and defend it in Plaza Miranda, as they say, then it's not bad. Then for us, I mean, the Senate is known for its institutional insertions, no? Like, for example, AFP modernization, if it's your advocacy, kung nabawasan yan sa GAA or the House GAB, then it's a prerogative, no, to insert. Like, for the past 2 years, we have been inserting from 5 billion, ginawa namin 10 billion, for example. If it's yung advocacy mo, for example, is education, you can add for UP or other state universities. So
what makes it bad?
What makes it bad is yung post-enactment intervention. Yung it's already there. Kunbawa, mayroong program, somebody asked for a project from a legislator to help if you were able to insert. But after that, you should stop there. You know, yung choosing the contractor, the bidding, everything, you should not have anything to do with it anymore. The post-enactment intervention should not be allowed. That makes it bad.
Okay. So, kasi nagkaroon nga ng bribery allegations, ngayon nakakulong yung sinasabi nga ni Congressman Leviste. Do you think also that there are bigger fish to fry? Hindi lang yung mga district engineers?
Well, I'm hoping that, Angela, as Senator Lacson said yesterday in the interpellation, it's the certainty of punishment that is lacking in this country. Parang walang natatakot magnakaw. Nobody is scared to do to get into irregularities or corruption. Because no one goes to jail, no?
Right.
No big fish. Ang nakukulong lang dito, magnakaw ng sardinas na talaga mahirap, na walang pakain. Pero pag maganda yung bihis, naka-Amerikana, naka-signature, they get away with it. So, I think, I'm hoping that this will be an eye-opener already. That too blatant na. It's too extravagant. Some officials have really become so already, insensitive and so extravagant lifestyle na showy na. It should already be a wake-up call that it should stop here already. Na I'm hoping that after the investigation, somebody will be prosecuted and eventually be jailed, so that nobody will it will send a strong
May
signal.
masasampulan.
May sampulan.
Ang
Kailangan
nangyayari
talaga.
kasi po, may makukulong, pero pag naiiba yung administration, napapakawala, di ba? Ganun po yung nangyayari. So,
Tsaka, it's sad reality, Angela, is that, yung mga, the poor, sabi ko na, yung mga nagnakaw lang ng sardinas para ipakain sa pamilya, nagnakaw ng mangga, kinukulong. But those, yung by the billions, by the millions, who steal money, I don't think they end up in jail, no?
Right.
So, I think, yun nga, I agree with Senator Lacson. What is needed is certainty of punishment.
pero speaking of lifestyle checks rather, no? How critical is this in the investigation?
I think it's very important because I received information also within our own investigation that the notorious district in Bulacan that was pointed out by Senator Lacson, some of those that he mentioned are true, no? Yung they go to the casino, they play, magpatalo nga 5 million per hand, my God, di ba? Kaya. So, kaya naman pala, may pinagkukunan pala ng ghost projects, no? And then their cars, my God, their watches, the way they dress, supercars of 50 million, 60 million, they can afford to drive. That's already, that is not allowable in the code of ethics in government service.
Kayo ba, Senator, before we move forward, meron ba kayo, kasi sinabi nga ni Senator Ping Lacson, there's a scheme of corruption under these programs, and ang tagal nyo na rin pong senador, ang tagal nyo na po sa politika. Was there an instance in your service na merong lumapit sa inyo, nag-bribe?
Well, definitely a lot. A lot will try, no? But I always say that's not our turf anymore. They will offer mga projects, whatever. But, sabi ko, what I would admit that if there are some local governments that help, provinces, bawa, hospitals, improvement, that we really help. No? We try. It's a hit and miss. Kung mapagbigyan, then good. Because we get to go around and I think that's not bad because as public officials, the reason that we are, kaya nga Monday to Wednesday lang yung work namin, Thursday is usually onwards, it's our time to go around.
Right.
So when we talk to provincial officials, LGU officials, of course they ask for support and help for the programs, and I don't think it's really bad if you intervene. Again, what is bad is post-enactment intervention. So, yun. For example, hospitals now that I go around, is my advocacy that as the principal sponsor and author of Universal Healthcare, I try to do to help and support and improve the provincial and the other regional hospitals as I go around, especially during the budget season.
But speaking of LGUs, kasi ngayon, ever since pumutok itong issue na to, we've seen a lot of finger pointing.
Yes.
Sinasabi ng mga LGU, wala kaming alam dito sa nangyari dito, walang coordination with DPWH, etc., etc. So how do we fix this?
Well, Anja, I think this brings me to what I've been fighting for and I've been pushing, yung Master Plan for Infrastructure and National Development, or a comprehensive Master Plan for Infrastructure Development, because I've been advocacy ko yung transport modernization, railway system.
Yes.
We've talked about it before, the airport modernization, because I feel that this will really stimulate economic growth, and that this is what our ASEAN neighbors did 30 years ago.
Right.
And look at where they are now. Look at where we are now. So I'll still push for it. We'll be hitting two birds with one stone. One is we will be able to hopefully catch up in terms of infrastructure development. And second, I think it will address all of these controversies, itong flood control programs. Well, as stated by Senator Lacson in his privilege speech, ang nangyayari sa mga projects is supply-driven, not demand-driven. Kumbaga, what happens, I asked him yesterday sa interpellation, so is it possible that there are projects that are really not needed, hindi yan requested ng local government, that's why they don't know about it, they say, but it's just that they have to spend the budget of DPWH, of legislators in case, even if the project was not consulted, LGUs were not consulted, so isasaksak na yung project. That's why a lot of LGU officials are saying they do not have any knowledge about or have to do anything about it. So I think, Angela, with the comprehensive master plan for infra development, everything should be followed, no, through the master plan. Kasi what happens is, pag walang master plan, if there's no master plan, everybody can just put a project for the sake of having it, no, na alam na natin, no, alam na this, no, ika nga, kahit hindi kailangan ipo-project kasi nga there's no master plan. Angela, we've been investigating, having hearings on the flooding of Central Luzon for the past 3 years.
Right.
At the same time, no, if I'm not mistaken, Pampanga, Tarlac, Bulacan, and parts of Metro Manila, we will not be able to solve this flooding if we continue to reservoirs and pumping stations. No? Kasi Central Luzon is really a basin, so you have to take out the water. But because, probably, Angela, because of the 350 billion budget for flood control, all districts want to have a pie of that budget.
Right.
So lahat may flood control. So lahat napupunta sa slope protection, sa drainage improvement. This will really not solve the problem. So I'm pushing for the comprehensive master plan so that projects that are national in nature should remain with the national offices. Dapat walang pakialam ang district and the local governments.
So para sa inyo, yung plan na yan, local governments wala ring pakialam?
They should only be concerned with their own locality. Because, you know, I was in the House on Congress before. Nung may PDAF pa, no? We all had 70 million each. At least it was evenly distributed. From what I remember, that we can only propose projects or yung mga intervention namin for municipal roads, barangay halls, kumbaga everything local in nature, everything national should be left with the national offices. Ngayon kasi it became free for all, no? I think that's what's became the problem or the dilemma now. So I would still push for the comprehensive master plan so that all national projects, railway system, itong mga airports, highways, again, itong flood control, water management, should remain with the national offices.
So it's going to be a law?
I'm hoping.
You're hoping.
This is the very first bill that I filed ever since I came back to the 19th Congress. And now it's the second bill that I filed after the Universal Healthcare Amendment in this Congress, the 20th Congress. So I'm hoping that this time that all of these controversies about the lack of master plan, this flood control controversies, I'm hoping that this will gain traction now. Yes.
Pero September 1 is going to be the second Senate Blue Ribbon Committee on this issue, yung mga anomalous flood control projects. What do you think are the key issues that you were going to raise in that committee?
I'm hoping, Angela, to be able to invite those who are really involved, yung mga DPWH officials, especially of the notorious, ito yung Bulacan, Mindoro, that was named by Senator Lacson in his privilege speech. Kasi common sense tells us, Angela, that, for example, yung pinresent ni President Marcos na table, top 10 flood-prone provinces. And then, yung top 10 naman na provinces that got the
bulk of the money.
The bulk of the money doesn't match. So, yun lang right there and then, you can already say that there's something wrong. It should be, kung ano yung top 10, should be probably the bulk of it, probably 50% of it should go to those places. No? So,
do you believe yung nakakulong ngayon na district engineer sa Batangas would help you guys somehow unlock some, mystery?
I would think so. I'm hoping, no? And some of those who were involved, Angela, sometimes reality, you just, you know that there will be someone who will make profit. Of course, the contractors, it's a business, no? But
what do you have to say, Senator? Sorry to cut you there, but what do you have to say to those people who are saying na why are we singling out itong mga contractors na ito, itong mga DPWH officials na to? Yes, they are involved, but there are other people, higher ups, no, higher authorities
Well,
that
that's why-
might have a hand in this.
That's why
like
we would want to continue the
politicians.
investigation so that they will spill the beans on who are behind. We are not clearing politicians or other top officials behind. So, but they are the ones who are implementing. So, I'm sure that they know something. As I mentioned, going back, that it's understandable to make profit, no? Kung meron mang mga perks, but to be able to make profit and then at the same time not to deliver, parang too much na yan. As I mentioned, this is already impyerno levels na ito.
Well, yun na nga pagod na
Sobra
yung mga tao,
At saka,
Senator.
I mean, doble na, kumita ka na and then there's no delivery.
Right.
Diba? It's okay
Parang every
to have
day,
profit,
diba?
but you deliver what is due. Kaya naman pala, sabi ko nga, in my words, sabi ko kaya pala na nagkakabaha-baha kung kinapalan sana yung semento at bakal, sana nawala ba? Ang problema, ang kinapalan yung mga muka.
Ayun na nga. Basta, ang mga tao po ngayon, ang publiko ay pagod na.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
hoping that someone will,
yes,
something
do
will
you
happen
believe
now.
that this is really the era of transparency and accountability? That somehow, at the end of the day, hindi lang to puro parang, alam mo yun, investigation lang.
I'm hoping that this will be a wake-up call because it has become too blatant, too brazen already. It's sad. Ordinary people, they work 8 to 5, break their backs, working, paying taxes, tapos yung taxes, ninanakaw, pinansasugal lang pala, bibili ng luxury items. So, it has to stop.
Right. So, Senator, I cannot let you go without asking you about the recent change of leadership in the PNP, in Philippine National Police. What do you make of that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it came as a surprise. It was really a surprise, no? We thought it was fake news at first, reading it in social media. But all I can say that...
Do you believe it was fair? Do you believe it was fair for the General
it's a prerogative of the president, but we do not know what really are the reasons behind. But I'm hoping that the new PNP chief would be able to perform because I think he has big shoes to fill because I think whatever, like him or not, Gerald Torre has become a little bit popular, no?
Right.
For a PNP chief. So big shoes to fill for new PNP chief Gerald Nartates.
With that, thank you so much for joining me today, Senator J.V. Ejercito, the Senate's Deputy Majority Leader. Thank you so much.
Angela.
Thank you. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Mayor Isko Moreno has discovered that more than 200 projects worth 14 billion pesos were built in the city without permits from the local government. Here's the report.
From 2022 up to this year, more than 200 flood control projects have been built in the city of Manila worth 14 billion pesos. But Mayor Isko Moreno revealed that not a single one of these projects had the necessary permits from the local government. According to Moreno, the Public Works Department approved the projects despite what he called clear violations of the local government code and other ordinances.
So most of it finished already. Bumaha ng pondo sa Maynila, bumaha pa rin sa Maynila. Now, itong lahat ng ito ay walang permit sa lungsod.
Based on documents, Chelsea Construction and Supply received some of the biggest contracts amounting to 1.4 billion pesos. One of their projects is a 38.4 million peso flood mitigation structure along Estero de Magdalena in Tondo. The contract, signed in February 2025, gave them 161 days to finish. But the project remains unfinished to this day, with construction still ongoing.
Malaking perang ginastos dyan, tapos pagdating ng mga baha daw, hindi naman gumana, hindi naman pinagagana. Nung huling bagyo, puno yung ano na yan, ito, apaw yan.
The DPWH North Manila District Engineering Office defended the projects, insisting the flood control systems are functional and that maintenance teams are in place to monitor them.
Sa dating administration po, hindi po ni-require yung kuha ng permit. Papaalam lang po kami na gagawa na pinapayagan po.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority plans to build a massive water catchment facility inside the University of Santo Tomas to help ease recurring flooding along España Boulevard in Manila. MMDA Chairman Romando Artes said the structure to be built beneath the UST quadrangle can store up to 72,000 cubic meters of rainwater, equivalent to nearly 30 Olympic-sized swimming pools. It will span about 8,000 square meters. Similar catchment facilities are also being planned in Camp Aguinaldo, Liwasang Bonifacio, Raha Sulaiman Park, and Ninoy Aquino Wildlife Park.
Yung baha naman po sa UST sa amin pong computation sa 0.5 meters po na baha doon sa Espanya is around mga 36 to 38,000 cubic meters lang. So, dinoble po namin yung capacity para po to ensure na yung return period po ay mas mahaba. Nag-offer po kami na yung first level po noong catchment ay pwedeng gawing parking ng mga sasakyan sa UST. And then, kami po yung magme-maintain at mag-ooperate noong catchment na yon to ensure na wala pong basura, hindi po pamamahayan ng lamok.
Congressman Richard Gomez and Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong appear to have reconciled after a public spat over irregularities in flood control projects. Photos of the two hugging at a recent event went viral on social media. Magalong himself posted the images with the caption, "Despite the noise and accusations, true friendships remain." The gesture came days after Gomez criticized the mayor believed to be Magalong for raising unfounded corruption issues. Some netizens praised the display of friendship while others dismiss it as political theatrics. Acting Philippine National Police Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said he will enforce the NAPOLCOM resolution reversing the recent reshuffle of senior police officials. The resolution reinstates 12 key officers who were reassigned by former PNP Chief Police General Nicolas Torre III without clearance from the NAPOLCOM and the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Nartates, who was also affected by the reshuffle, stressed that the PNP must comply with NAPOLCOM, which supervises the police organization.
I will tackle that with the NAPOLCOM. At for sure, i-implement natin yun. But alam nyo, ang NAPOLCOM, siya ang watchdog sa PNP. Siya ang repository ng ating mga policies and circulars. Pagka hindi natin sinunod, para saan pa yung batas, no?
Nartates is also considering Public Information Office Chief Police Brigadier General Randolph Tuaño as the police force's acting spokesperson. He added that the roles of PIO chief and spokesperson may be merged.
Pag-aaralan nga, dahil designated siya na spokes, ano? Nandito ang ating PIO, under naman yun doon dapat. Di parehas kami, yung OCPNP, Office of the Chief, merong spokesperson at merong PIO, parang iisa lang ata yun.
Days after his abrupt relief as PNP Chief, General Nicolas Torre III has made his first public appearance, addressing questions about his removal from office and his future in the police service. The details in this report by Mobile Journal Amy Atienza.
Days after the Malacanang announced the relief of Nicolas Torre III, the former PNP chief first showed himself in the House of Representatives Wednesday afternoon. Torre visited the office of the Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila de Lima on the day of her birthday, August 27. Though he did not disclose their conversation, the act was a reciprocation of good deed after the Congresswoman questioned his relief from the post. He even jokes about being a food delivery rider as he presented himself in the lower chamber.
When I was the chief PNP, Congressman de Lima was among the first visitors in my office. Nakita niyo naman yun, we published it. She visited me and we talk about things. So sa ngayon, I just reciprocated the gesture.
He adds that there is no bad blood with Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla. More so, he does not feel any bitterness against the president and his decision to immediately relieve him as the Philippine National Police Chief. The police general clears out all negative allegations as he says,
I'm telling you, simula kahit nakahapon sa official statement ni Secretary John Vic, di ba? May nasira ba? Wala naman It's all the president's choice, ang sabi niya. Which I support it. Look at me straight in the eye. Do I look like somebody who is bitter? I've been an officer for more than 30 years. This is not the first time that this happened in my career. Okay? And it happened. Time and again, pabalik-balik yan. And, I just came back, bounced back, and do something again.
Torre also recognizes his position as a policeman despite the circumstances. He assures that he will continue serving the country and the government while everyone awaits his new appointment as announced by the Office of the President.
Up to this moment, there's no turnover to speak of. Ang relief ko is for the appointment. I have to still get guidance whether I'm fired from the PNP so that I will lose my 4-star general. And that's quite a different thing.
Torre also shares that he had already left the PNP headquarters after the relief announcement. He mentions that he knew this may happen since being the police chief officer is just a temporary position. Moving forward, the former PNP chief submitted his leave of absence, only his second time in his career as a police officer. His LOA, however, is still awaiting for the approval of the new PNP chief.
And I'm planning to use the maximum leave authorized, yung my vacation leave, my service leave. Obviously, I need the time. I need the time off. So, I need the time off also to answer reporters.
General Jose Nartates Jr. has been named as the new PNP chief after Torre's tenure, and Torre says he is open to help the new chief if needed.
Of course, of course. You just have to ask and I can give it to him kung ano man. Pulis pa nga rin ako sabi ko sa inyo.
Torre served 85 days as the PNP chief under the administration of President Bongbong Marcos. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza, we are One News.
Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back after a short break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Authorities confirm that none of the DNA samples from the bones recovered in Taal Lake have matched with the families of the missing Sabungero so far. Mobile journalist Arles de los Santos has the report.
Almost 50 days since the Philippine Coast Guard started conducting technical dives in Taal Lake to search for the 34 missing Sabungeros. 401 skeletal bones have been found, with 355 confirmed to be of humans. As per Assistant Secretary Eliseo Cruz of the Department of Justice, the bones are recovered inside a number of sacks that are usually tied to or attached to sacks of sand that serve as sinkers, with each sinker sandbag is of the size of a 25-kilogram rice sacks. These findings were unwrapped in the House Committee on Human Rights hearing led by Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante.
We recovered 401 bones. So,
Are they human bone?
Yes, sir. Yung human bones na. Then, out of those items, sir, there are a total of 163 samples were subjected to DNA. Then, the rest po nun, sir, ay hindi na po dahil nag-deteriorate na po. Wala na pong ano.
How many are related to the missing Sabungeros according to the DNA?
Wala pa pong nag-match.
Wala pa?
Opo, doon sa mga samples na nakuha namin sa mga relatives ng mga missing Sabungeros po.
It can be recalled that the ongoing search in Taal Lake started when the whistleblower and co-accused Julie Dondon Patidongan claimed that the victims were already buried in the lake. The Philippine Coast Guard also shared environmental hazards that they encountered while conducting the search, including the high fecal coliform in the waters of Taal that can bring respiratory and skill-related illnesses to the divers, made worse by the possible harm brought by Taal sea snake, whose antivenom is unavailable in the country. DOJ also voiced a challenge in the ongoing DNA matching with the families of the 34 missing Sabungeros.
Kasi po, when we compare DNA samples from the relatives, hindi po kasi lahat ng mga kamag-anak ng mga nawawalang Sabungero ay nakipag-cooperate. Meron po kasing mga kamag-anak ng mga missing Sabungeros ang napabalitang nagpabayad na. Kaya hindi po lahat ng mga relatives na kinakailangan namin.
Ibig sabihin nagbabayad na? Nagbabayad, binayaran na?
Yun po ang balita namin.
With the human bones found not matching to any of the initial 29 families of the 34 missing Sabungeros, ACT Teachers Representative Antonio Tino asked what the duty bearers of the law will do with this finding, with the latter assuring the committee that no stone will remain unturned. Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
For more details on the House Committee briefing regarding the missing Sabungeros, we're now going to Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos, who is with us via Zoom. Hi Arles, good morning. Napag-usapan din daw yung tungkol sa online sabong. Ano yung detalye na naibigay ng DICT?
Magandang umaga, Angela. No? Kasama nga yan sa mga napag-usapan kahapon sa naging committee hearing ng House of Representatives Committee on Human Rights. At ayon nga sa kanila, mula nang magkaroon ng pagban sa isabong noong 2022, ito ay actually panahon pa no, ni Pangulong Duterte. At ngayon ay panahon na daw ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ay umabot na daw sa 52,847 ang kanilang mga na-take down o mga naipasara at napahintong mga domains at subdomains na mga isabong platforms na ngayon daw ay nananatili pa ring hamon sa kanila dahil kapag daw ito ay tinitake down, mabilis na nagkakaroon na, segundo nga lang daw, ang kanilang pagitan, no, nagkakaroon na naman ng bagong mga subdomain. At syempre, ang nagpapahirap dito ay ang kanilang VPN na tinatawag. Ito kasi yung network, Angela, no, na kapag ginamit ay tatalbog sa iba't ibang mga server. Kaya naman daw nahihirapan dito ang DICT at CICC na ito ay hanapin at i-take down. Pero kanilang pangako naman na nagpapatuloy ang kanilang regulasyon at ang pagbabantay upang masiguro na hindi na nga dumami pa ang mga mabibiktima nitong isabong. Pero sinubukan natin na maghanap online ng mga isabong platforms, no, at nakita natin na talagang parang nagpulasan na kanya-kanyang maliliit na operasyon na ang proseso nito dahil yung mga individual accounts na daw yung ginagamit ng mga tinatawag natin ito na mga middleman para magkaroon ng access ng publiko sa isabong.
Arles, nasaan ba ngayon si alias Toto, yung state witness? I believe some lawmakers are questioning his status.
Kahapon, Angela, ay natanong din yan sa House of Representatives pero binigyan linaw naman ng DOJ na si alias Dondon daw ay nagpapatuloy pa rin daw naman ang kooperasyon sa DOJ. Pero syempre natanong ang kalagayan ng kanyang Witness Protection Program application na ayon nga sa ating mga kasama kahapon ay ongoing pa daw ang proseso. Medyo natatagalan lamang dahil nga kailangan ng ilan pang mga papel at ilan pang mga procedure para siya makapasok doon sa Witness Protection Program. Pero ayan daw ay patuloy na titignan ng ating mga kasama at sisiguruhin na nasa ligtas na kalagayan si Dondon Patidongan.
Alright, so what's next for the Committee on Human Rights? What else can we expect? Masusundan pa ba ito ng mga iba pang dapat talakayin regarding missing Sabungeros?
Kahapon, Angela, napakahaba ng naging meeting actually at sobrang napakalaman. Sa pangunguna nga ni 6th District Representative ng Manila na si Benny Abante, actually inihayag niya naman ang kanyang pagkadismaya na tila nagsimula daw itong pagkawala ng mga Sabungero sa kanyang distrito mismo, kaya naman talagang tututukan daw ito ng kanyang komite para masiguro na mabigyan ng of course justice, justisya ang nangyari sa mga nawawalang Sabungero. Pero ayon naman sa human rights ng kanilang nakita o narinig ang pagkawala ng 34 na mga Sabungero at ang balita na sila itinapon sa Taal Lake ay agad daw silang nagsagawa ng motu proprio investigation para mas masilip pa kung ano nga ang nangyayari dito. Asahan daw na sa paparating pang mga pagdinig ng Committee on Human Rights ng Kamara ay mas mabibigyan pa ng lalim at kasagutan ang mga pangyayari sa pagkawala ng 34 na mga Sabungero. Angela?
All right, thank you so much. That was our mobile journal, Arles de los Santos. Now, the Bureau of Customs will look into the imported luxury cars of the Descaya family. In an interview on Storycon, BOC Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno said a court order would be required since the vehicles are located in private homes. Nepomuceno also acknowledged that the Bureau faces powerful groups and individuals behind smuggling activities, making investigations more challenging.
The dynamics will be different. We have to convince the court that we have enough reason for the judge to trust us in issuing the search warrant that we would be needing to enter the premises. Of course, the Constitution protects the sanctity of homes. So we need resources to do our job. We need that kind of support. So that the hardest challenge is how to say no to corruption. And then you'll be up against people who have a lot of resources.
In weather, Pag-asa is closely monitoring a low-pressure area inside the Philippine area of responsibility. According to the State Weather Bureau, the system has a high chance of developing into a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. The trough of the LPA will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms over the Ilocos region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Luzon, and parts of Cagayan Valley. Meanwhile, the southwest monsoon will continue to affect the Visayas, Mimaropa, Bicol region, Quezon, and much of Mindanao, also bringing scattered rains and thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon may experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers. In sports, Jaja Santiago begins a new chapter with a different team as she continues her volleyball journey in Japan. The 6'5" middle blocker, also known by her Japanese name Sachi Minowa, has officially signed with the Denso Eri Bees for the upcoming Japan SV League season. Santiago joins Denso after 2 successful years with Osaka Marvelous. She even helped Osaka win the league title in its most recent season. The Denso Eri Bees might be familiar to Filipino fans since that's where Alas Pilipinas team captain Gia de Guzman played the past 2 years. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you just the right start to your morning. Let's make the day matter. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.